I'm Stacy Grinsfelder.
And I'm Daniel Cantor.
And you're listening to True Tales from Old Houses, the Minisode.
It's that shorter one.
Hi, Daniel.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very good. I don't know if we should limit ourselves to good morning, because what if people are listening to this at night?
Good day, ma'am.
Did you just ma'am me?
I think so, but in character. How's it going? What's going on?
It's going really, really well. All things are rosy right now in my life. How about you?
Oh, same.
I'm trying something new, like just everything's
lying.
Great.
Just
yeah.
lying.
Well, I don't know if I would call it
That's your
lying.
new practice.
Yeah.
Remember when you were talking about word of the year, which I still think about daily.
Oh, that's right.
Yours is just lies.
Lies, yeah. Last season, I think we talked about the fact that people pick a word of the year for the new year, and it could be something like peace or joy or love, and then try to move forward throughout the year thinking about that word and using that word. So yes, my 2024 word is lying.
Mine is drama.
Drama? Oh, this is
it's
perfect.
Not. I don't know. I just made that up.
This is going to be a great year for us, and it bodes well for the podcast. I'm lying. You're all drama. Let's see where we can take this.
Right. And on that note, we want to thank our sponsors for this mini-sode, who are this season the window course from Scott Seidler, as well as our friends returning from last season, Sutherland Wells.
That's right. And I'm sure they'll be thrilled and proud to sponsor this mini-sode.
Our lies and drama. Everything a brand wants to be associated with.
Right.
It's right.
Lies and drama. Anyway, I have kind of exciting news to share. I guess I've been sort of talking about this on Instagram, whatnot, but I am leaving at the end of this week to go to Japan.
So exciting. You're visiting your son, right?
I am visiting my son. Last year he moved. He's in school there, but this is actually my second trip to Japan. So in 2016, my son came to me and he said, if I save up enough money to go to Japan, will you go with me? And first of all, I thought that was very, very sweet because he asked me to travel with him. And I thought that was nice. And so I said, yeah, absolutely. Definitely, I'll be there. But in my mind, I have to admit, there were extenuating circumstances during that time that made me think that that wasn't going to happen, right? I mean, I wanted to say, oh, I can't wait.
Was one of the extenuating circumstances a 16-year-old being able to save money in any way, shape, or form?
That was absolutely a part of it. Also, he had no job. So I was thinking, wow.
That'll be a challenge, yeah.
Yeah, saving up money, you're going to have to figure this out. But sure enough, he set his mind to it. He did odd jobs. He got a job with a video game company doing freelance work at home. He saved all his birthday money. And then in 2019, sure enough, we went to Japan and it was so great. And he's an origami artist. So he went to an origami convention. He submitted a piece for the art show there. And they actually published his diagrams in their convention book, which was really cool.
Wow. So these are like origami originals invented by him?
Yes.
Wow.
So origami, I won't go too far into this tangent, but origami is, in Japan at least, considered a little kid's hobby. They give kids paper to keep them busy, and there's traditional models that, who knows the artist? Most of the people have seen those when you think of the crane or you think of the little samurai hat folding. But origami it can be as complex or as simple as you want. So the groups of people who do origami are both artists, also engineers, those people who are working on origami to learn how to fold up things like satellite dishes that'll fit in a spaceship, and there's an origami kayak, that kind of thing. So it's a really interesting bunch of people. So in 2019, sure enough, we went to Tokyo. We had a ball. I will say that Japan was never on my list of places that I wanted to go. And it wasn't because I actively thought I don't want to go there. It was more like it just wasn't on my radar. It wasn't on my list. I wasn't even thinking about it. And that ended up being one of my favorite vacations ever. So, of course, flash forward when he goes to school last fall, 2023, he's in Tokyo now. Then I'm so excited. I'm so excited because he made that happen in the same way that he made this saving money to go the first time. He did all of that on his own. He's there now. He just had a very successful first year of school, and we get to go visit again.
That is so cool. How long will he be there total? Do we know?
Well, his school is a 4-year program. It's a regular college program, so he'll be there for 4 years. He has a visa. I think visas only last, I don't know, it doesn't matter, 2 years. But he can't stay there without coming back indefinitely unless he is in school. He was planning on coming home this summer. Then he decided he didn't want to. So he couldn't just stay there untethered, for months until the school semester began again in August. He had to take classes this summer.
Got it. Right. This is how I got deported from Canada.
Oh, that's right.
Because I didn't have a student visa because I wasn't actually a matriculating student.
That's
is that the
right
word?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Does he speak Japanese?
Yes and no. He speaks at a probably preschool to kindergarten level. That's part of his program. The program itself is an English program, but they're required to take Japanese, at least for their general education requirements. However, he wants to study Japanese in depth, so he'll be taking plenty more Japanese classes. The nice thing about Japan, I thought it was going to be really hard to get around in, right? So most things we see are in, at least when we think of Japan, we think of, oh my gosh, how am I going to read anything? And, you think of the symbols, kanji, but almost every sign is in hiragana, which is basically the phonetic spelling of these places. If I know where I'm going and I can read it in hiragana, then it's plenty easy enough. If I go to a restaurant, there are these menus with, pictures of the food on it. And basically they're just pointing menus that foreigners use to explain what it is they want. And then, of course, our good friend Google Translate, who got me through most of everything in Japan, talking to people and reading things that were not in hiragana.
Wow. So cool. I feel like this is fully, I just have a feeling that going to Tokyo feels like the closest you can come to time travel into the future. Because it feels
That's a good way to put it.
They've got things we don't have here.
Yeah.
Like glass that can go from clear to opaque. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, TikTok showed me and I was intrigued. But it was a public restroom situation in Tokyo and you shut the door and it's all glass walls. But as soon as you shut the door, it becomes totally private.
Oh, interesting. I haven't been in a bathroom like that, but they do have the nicest public bathrooms. Every public bathroom that you go to has a bidet, which is nice, little attachment. So that's kind of nifty, a little unusual, but highly underrated. Don't mind using one of those at all.
Don't knock a bidet.
No, I thought I would go there and see things that I hadn't seen before. And it is somewhat futuristic, but I think most of the time we get those news articles or TikTok stuff that is unusual, super unusual, not things that you would see just everywhere. But
everyone doesn't have one in their house.
Right. We had an exchange student from Japan the year prior. So that was 2018. And he was 14 and he'd come all by himself. It was kind of interesting. They let him travel. He was 14 years old. We loved it. We had him for 6 weeks, but we would ask him questions with Google Translate because although he had taken plenty of English classes, he did not really speak English very well. And we certainly didn't speak Japanese. So we used a lot of Google Translate. And we would go for a walk every morning with Millie and we would talk about things. And I would ask him questions about, robots and things that I had seen in news articles, right? So then I guess my kids have been asking him questions about things like that too. And so we had just seen an article about this toilet. It was a toilet with, it had a bidet attachment and it was like a robot toilet. So, you walked up to it and it opened up and then it closed and it did everything sort of hands-free and there were lights and music and it was very involved.
Like you need to read a manual to know how to take a poo-poo.
Yes. So I asked him, his name was Tomiyoshi. His name is Tomiyoshi. I said, Tomiyoshi, and then I had this Google Translate thing, like, is this thing real? And he types and he types and he types, tapping this message out on Google Translate. And the message that he sent back to, or that I read on my screen in English was, why is everybody so obsessed with toilets in the United States? So my guess is that we had all been asking him stuff about like fancy toilets. We didn't know that we were every member of the family at separate times was talking to him about toilets in Japan.
That is really funny. Oh my gosh. So now he just thinks we're all like a bowel movement obsessed nation.
Right.
Which we kind of are.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for you, right?
Our gut health is terrible as a country, but
right.
That's a Netflix documentary you can watch on your own.
Oh, and I have another story that's related to things that are, I guess, gross.
Perfect. Let's go.
So I'm having a common old house problem that many of us have had, and that is that there is the stench of death in my house somewhere that I cannot locate.
You finally killed Andy.
I know. I did not. Or I deny everything. Okay. Yes.
Alleged. It's all alleged.
It's all alleged. Right. So I think there's a dead critter of some kind somewhere in my house. And every time I would walk to the bedroom, I smell it, but I can't find it. And, so I'm doing the whole old house thing where you just like go around sniffing everything, looking behind curtains and sniffing, opening closet doors, getting down on hands and knees, like, where is the smell, And then I couldn't find it. So I thought, it's not that bad. It's fine. It's not that bad.
I mean, it usually resolves in a few days on its own, right?
Exactly. So we had a couple of really nice days of weather and I could not be bothered. I thought, well, I'm not even going to look for it anymore. And yeah, about 2 days later, it stopped smelling. So that is correct. I don't know where it is.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. But I've asked people on Instagram, I said, the fact that you smell it and you don't look for it, is that, relatable, or am I just disgusting? It turns out it was highly relatable. A lot of people smell things and they're like, that'll go away soon enough. Right. But I had a really funny story from someone, and she wrote me, she said she smelled that same smell. She's like, she knew it was something dead, and she was looking for it everywhere and she couldn't find it. And the stench just didn't go away. She kept thinking, this is going to pass, but it is just not going away. And she opening cabinets, looking everywhere. Finally, she looked in her shopping bag that she had taken to the grocery store and realized that she had a fresh sausage at the bottom of it wrapped in paper.
Oh, no.
That she had forgotten to take out. And I just think that's so gross, but also so funny.
That is very gross.
Yeah, nasty.
And you're a vegetarian, so you probably feel like a little smug about it too. Like, we just don't have to worry about those things.
Wasn't a sausage in my house. Thank you very much. So have you had dead things in your house?
Yeah, person. Let's not forget. Yeah, probably several dead people, to be honest, but not really. It's sort of shocking. So I think I credit like exactly one thing for this, because I'm not like a exceptional housekeeper, and I have done nothing to pest-proof my home beyond live in it. So in Kingston specifically, but this is, I think, pretty contained to the Northeast, they had this practice of, in a wood frame house, stuffing the walls with brick and mortar that were like kind of the garbage bricks from the brickyards. And so my house is built that way, and it has almost no insulation value, but it was basically put in for pest proofing and fire blocking. And I think it's actually been pretty effective as pest proofing, because I've demoed a lot of things in this house, and I found, I don't know, maybe between 5 and 10 like mummified mice.
Wow. That's a pretty good track record.
Yeah, really not bad. I've seen exactly one mouse in the 10 years I've lived here. One time.
Wow.
Just ran through my kitchen. I was like, Hello and welcome. You're so cute. And
Would you like to clean something while you're here or make me a dress? Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Here's your tiny feather duster. Get to work. Yeah. And then I did preserve them. I saved them.
Okay, wait.
My mouse mummies. Is that terrible? It's so gross.
That is terrible. So please tell us why.
I mean, they're like a million years old, so they don't smell or they're mummies. And I thought they were just grotesque and kind of cool and really gross. And so something in me said, these should go in a shadow box someday. And you like hung on the wall, just like, I don't know, like behind the toilet or like in the closet or, somewhere very surprising to just be like, oh,
There's
here's
some dead animals.
beautifully displayed dead mice
Yeah.
that are all like
Mummified.
contorted.
That is disgusting. That is
I
truly, truly
know.
disgusting.
I shouldn't have talked about it on the podcast.
Oh.
but it's who I am.
Something tells me people are going to love you all the more for this instead of less. You have a way about you.
I get to take you exactly to them. I know exactly where they are.
I'll pass. Thank you very much. True Tales from Old Houses is supported by The Window Course. The Window Course, created by Scott Seidler of the Craftsman blog, is a step-by-step, do-it-yourself program that will teach you everything you need to know to successfully restore your wood windows. It's self-paced, so you can go as fast or as slow as you need, and there are also several price points to fit your needs and budget.
As the weather warms up, now is the perfect time to get ready to restore the windows at your house. We call it window season. And the Window Course has all of the information you need all in one place.
And Scott is offering his students a special deal. If you sign up for the Lifetime Access Package or a training package, then you also get a free infrared paint remover, which is a $100 value.
The Window Course is also offered with a money-back guarantee, and Scott is offering True Tales from Old Houses listeners a special discount. So for 10% off, visit thewindowcourse.com and use the coupon code TrueTales.
True Tales from Old Houses is also supported by Sutherland Wells. All of Sutherland Wells products are handcrafted in Providence, Rhode Island with the highest quality, sustainably grown tung oil. Tung oil, which is native to China, has been used for centuries as a durable finish for wood, metal, and stone.
And unlike polyurethane, tung oil finish penetrates the surface of the wood, which means that it flexes and contracts as conditions change. That makes it the perfect pre-finish or protectant for everything from fine furniture to window sash and sills.
I've been seeing an awful lot of Sutherland Wells products on Instagram, and it makes me happy to know that other people are finding them because I love them. I just did spring window maintenance, and I put Slicky Wicky in the jams. Great name, great product. Keeps those sashes going up and down smoothly. But if you're not working on windows, Sutherland Wells has an entire product line for whatever you need. You may be working on siding, hardwood floors, furniture restoration, cutting boards, you name it.
To learn more about the complete product line, visit Sutherland Wells, that's WELLES, sutherlandwells.com. And to save 10% on your first order, use the coupon code TrueTales.
All right, so what's been going on with you? Your turn.
Oh boy. Well, so we're really at like the end stages with this cottage, which is just kind of surreal at this point.
Last time we talked, you were telling me that you had actually moved in some furniture and stuff, and that's where you were.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for remembering. So I've been staging. I've been kind of like a little punch listing, a little staging, a little trying to work around weather and stuff. So basically, I've been calling it the apology tour, where I go through the whole house and have to like fix all the things that I didn't do or didn't do correctly or decided was good enough for a photo, but wasn't actually good enough IRL. So yeah, I've taken that actually unintentionally, but it's been like kind of nice. I basically just did it in the order that I did the house. So started in the basement, which was a really stupid place to start a renovation, but I did. So I have a few items left on that interior punch list. It's like basically done. and it's just furnishing and staging and hanging things and all of that right now, which of course I'm overcomplicating for myself a little bit.
I would expect nothing less of you than to complicate it for yourself just a little. So tell me.
Okay, perfect. Remember I told you that whole story about that bench, the big bench. So I buy this big bench, bring it back. I'm like, I think it's a little deep. And then I get the couch in the room and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's too deep. Luckily, I think it works well. It's almost exactly the width of a king size bed, and I have a king size bed upstairs. So we took it upstairs and stuck it at the end of the bed, and I think it works.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. If it doesn't sell with the house, I'm like, I gotta find a place for it in this house. And the problem with my house is there's so many doors and windows and radiators. There's no long walls. There's like two walls in the house that are long enough.
Right.
And it's only 7 feet. Anyway, so a couple of years ago, one of the first houses we renovated for the Kingston City Land Bank was this house that was a catastrophe. And it had originally like a finished basement, which you sometimes see in these old houses. So like it had a plaster ceiling and it had beadboard wainscoting like throughout. It was like all rotted and falling off, but it was there. So I salvaged a lot of that basement and it created a lot of the millwork for the cottage. And one of the things that was in that basement was this, I think it was basically a workbench, but it's like beadboard on the front. It has these big chunky turned legs that I think are mahogany. You know, it was never like a nice piece, but it's really kind of cool. And so I saved it, but it's big and it's really heavy. And I literally just like threw it behind my garage, like dirt on the wood face down. And there it has remained for like 2 years. So I dug this thing out and I basically kind of rebuilt it. And now it's an 8-foot console table. So when you walk in the cottage, on your left, there's this really long console table with a little drawer. It's super cool looking, I think. It was kind of a fun project to just like chip away at after work hours.
Right.
It's been nice That's weather. Neat. So I just like burn stuff in the fire pit and make a table over here.
And work on your table. Oh, I'd love to see it.
I'll send you a picture. I think it's really pretty. So that's going on. I think I'm making a coffee table today because, of course, I can't find a coffee table that I like.
Right.
But I do have a weird, cool piece of marble in my basement, so that'll work. I tried a product that kind of shocked me. I don't know. So part of the apology tour is now the exterior lap, and on one side of the house, I poured a concrete walkway, but it's been several years. So now it's kind of, it's got that little film of algae and it's dirty and, stuff. So I bought that 30-second outdoor cleaner. Have you seen that stuff? It's been around since like the 70s, I guess, but
no, it sounds like one of those as seen on TV products.
It totally is. It's like a spray it on 30 seconds, then you hose it off. You're not supposed to power wash, whatever. So I was like, I've seen this for years on the shelf. Let me just try it. I thought it would be smart because the concrete was like a mess, that if I like basically pre-treated before power washing with this stuff, and I did, but then it got on the bottom of the cedar fence.
Oh no.
Which has now like totally weathered out to gray, which I like. I was sort of, with cedar, it's sort of often the attention. And this part of the fence looked like brand new, which was not really the intention, but I was also like, well, so now I have to do the whole fence. So I did the whole fence, and I was really bummed at first because I liked the grayed out, but now I actually think it looks beautiful. It kind of looks like when I first did it, the wood I would say is a little more bleached out. By the way, I think that stuff is just like chlorine. Like I don't.
Right.
I was wearing a black shirt. It got all bleached.
Does it burn your nose hairs as you're using it?
A little bit, made me sneeze. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, but boy, oh boy, does it. It's hardcore. And then, of course, so I have this little shed in the backyard and it's stained black. It's like a black opaque stain. And, it had gotten some nicks and bruises, and it's been a few years, so I was like, I'll just slap a new coat of paint on the shed real fast. So did that, put the lid on the can, didn't hammer it closed, put it by the back door, went to put away the power washer, winding up the cord, blah, 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 blah. Then I look, the cord like caught on the can and knocked it over, and almost an entire gallon of black stain spills on the freshly power washed concrete and the bottom of the newly restored cedar fence. I was like,
oh no.
Those are those moments you just sort of laugh.
Right.
And
yeah, because what can you do, right? We cause these issues ourselves. I do the same thing sometimes. I do something that just leads to a chain of events.
All because I couldn't take 2 steps to go grab the hammer and properly close the can.
Right,
like,
right. Yeah. Oh.
Come on, Daniel. Amateur hour.
I have done those things too. So I'm glad that you were not too hard on yourself.
Thank you. Yeah. Brad was like, if I had done that, I would have never. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You would have never heard the end of it. I need leverage. Anyway, so backyard, basically 2 sides of the house are done aside from a couple little paint touch-ups. And then today I got to tackle the front and the other side. And then I think we're pretty much all inside and just putzing around and moving things and hanging things. I have vastly overhoarded furniture. There's something wrong with me. So we're going to have a big old yard sale soon, I think, is the plan.
Well, I hope I can come.
Stacy, we had a couple announcements we totally spaced putting at the top of the show.
Oh my gosh.
You want to change up our format and throw them here?
Yes, yes. That is the beauty of the independently produced podcast, is that we get to change the format whenever we want. So yeah, thank you for reminding me. Ugh.
No problem. We
New
got a
season.
couple.
Yeah, new season takes a little bit to get back in the swing of things, but we actually have 3 announcements. The first announcement is that you still have a little bit of time left to book that trip with me to England. We're going September 7th through the 17th. I'm hosting this trip, the English Masterpiece Tour, through Holiday Vacations. I mentioned last week that this is a great trip to take with multiple generations. So if you have your, aunts and mom and you that want to go on a trip together, but you all have different interests and varying activity levels, a tour is a great way to accommodate all of you. The deadline for booking this trip is May 18th. It's coming right up. A $200 deposit holds your spot. The rest of the money is due in June. You can talk to a Holiday Vacations rep about that. And they do have a generous refund policy too if you end up not being able to go. But make sure and ask them about that so you're clear on that policy. You can find out more about that trip at my website, blakehillhouse.com, and there'll be a link right on the homepage.
Great. That trip sounds so much fun.
I am really excited about it. I think it's going to be great. Like I said, we start and end in London, but we're seeing the English countryside, plenty of castles, Stonehenge. We're going to hit a lot of the highlights.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Now, the second announcement is that we still have tickets available for the Wood Window Workshop Retreat in Silver Lake this summer. I'm teaching 2 workshops in July. The most exciting thing, if you didn't hear last week, is that Brad and I secured some more sponsors so that we can reduce the ticket price. It's $3.99 for a single, $6.99 for a double or a duo now. And that duo, that can be you and your neighbor, you and your spouse, it has to be a human. Can't bring your dog. But anyway, you can, there's a duo price there.
I think if someone wants to pay for their dog's ticket.
Actually,
we'll
good point.
Accept dogs.
Yeah.
I would accept a dog.
Yeah, good point. Good point. You'll be doing the work for 2, but yeah, absolutely. If you want to pay for your dog. And I think it's great. For that price, you'll get a lot of value. There's over 16 hours of instruction, including lead safety training. There's breakfast and lunch both days, plus snacks. There's a swag bag. I'm giving you my favorite glass cutter, which is a game changer, an apron, local treats. 2 follow-up Zoom calls in case you get stuck, or just phone calls, 15 minutes, and a money-back guarantee. And what were you going to say?
Good, clean, fun for the whole family, warm fuzzies.
Yeah.
Working on a great old building. It's a fun weekend. It's also, you come to really learn a new skill, and you will leave with a new skill. And who better to teach it to you than Stacy with a assist from Brad and Daniel, and it's a lot of fun.
I do want to clarify, you said good, clean fun for the whole family, but participants do need to be 18 because we're potentially working with lead.
But the whole family will enjoy your restored windows later. So.
Absolutely. Yes. Later on, it will be good, clean fun at home. And you can find out more about that also on my website, blakehillhouse.com. The link is right there to purchase your tickets, reserve your spot.
Very cool. And then you've also been doing some, I noticed on our website, we talked last time, we have a fresh new look, new branding, new logo. Thank you, Anna, at Door 16. But you've also been improving kind of navigability with the sequencing of episodes and stuff. Tell me what you've been doing, because I don't really know. I support you.
I love how you call it improving. I will say I am doing my very best. When we started Minisodes, we started numbering them differently. But in truth, Minisodes and regular episodes combined, we have over 130 episodes. So starting this season forward, I'm just giving both minis and regulars a number in sequential order. So for instance, you'll see this Minisode is 131. We haven't done 131 Minisodes, but over the years, there have been 131 episodes. And I think it's just going to be easier moving forward to give everything a number. But where that might be confusing for you is if you'll see a big jump in the numbers. So last year we ended in the 120s, and you might see a big jump in numbers and you'll think, oh, did I miss a bunch of episodes? You did not.
I think it's going to be really helpful because we often will be like, on episode 112, we said this, but then it's sort of hard to find when 112. Right. So now you'll be able to go right to it.
Yeah, I think it'll make sense. Then we're not like, oh, in 112 we said this, but in Minisode 4 we said that. It's just two separate numbering systems did not make sense. So now we have one numbering system for everything, and moving forward, I think it's going to be really clear. And I will keep going back through all the other episodes to get everything uniform and up to speed.
And I will continue to be of no help whatsoever.
But you are a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I love it. I love doing this show with you.
Yes, I enjoy it as well.
Thank you for listening to True Tales from Old Houses, the Minisode. Until next time.
See you next week.